The mayoral candidates are going to go to the entryway, and you'll be with Bobby Holguin. Bobby's going to keep you there so that we keep the process homogeneous, and the candidates will not be able to benefit from being second, third, fourth, or fifth and hearing the answers of the previous candidates to the previous answers the candidates gave to the questions. So Bobby's going to take all of the candidates back to the room in just a second after I explain what's going to happen. What's going to happen is a mayoral candidate will come in, they will get 1 minute to introduce yourselves. After you introduce yourself, we have a series of 4 questions. 3 of the 4 questions you will get 1 minute to answer. The very final question you will get 2 minutes to answer. So each candidate will be answering 5 minutes worth of questions. At the end of it, you will get 1 minute to close. And at that point, you will be free to leave or do whatever you want. The other thing is that when you're back there in the foyer and being sequestered, you will not be able to use your cell phones either. Bobby is my bailiff, and he's been given very strict instructions as to what is to happen and not happen in that foyer. So with regards to the candidates, if you'll go ahead and go on back.
We have Ken is our handyman as well as our president. He built this light system that we have a green light and a red light. We will turn on the green light when you can go. 10 seconds before, we'll turn that off, and then at the end, you'll get the red light.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hector Lopez, and with your support, I plan to be the next mayor of El Paso. I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself, and hopefully you get to know a little bit more about my story. I submit to all of you that yes, I am the youngest candidate in the race at the age of 33, but I am also the most qualified candidate in this race. With the support of my family, I was able to go to Cathedral High School, Georgetown University, and Villanova University for my graduate studies. I worked under 2 different mayors, 2 different political factions that unfortunately are at play again in our community. I worked under Mayor Caballero. At the age of 21, I was the International Trade Liaison of the City of El Paso. At the age of 22, I was the Industry Development Advisor for the city. So I've worked with these communities. And those factions, they have to go. I have a 6-point plan that I've articulated well on my website and at every forum I've had, and I invite you to take a look at it. Thank you very much.
You have 1 minute to answer this question, and the question is, name the pros and cons of a city government run with a city manager. Do you plan to try to change the structure of our city government?
The answer is absolutely. I plan to give back the voice to our community. Our city management has been run amok, and let me tell you how. By not following the virtue of a city management form of government. 68% of America's top 50 cities are run by a strong mayor form of government. It's time for our community to choose again, to choose anew, and when I'm elected mayor of El Paso, I will use the bully pulpit to give a vote to our city and select anew whether we want a city manager or a strong mayor. And I'll tell you what, there are pros and cons. We've seen what a strong mayor can do. Sometimes we've seen what a strong mayor can fail at. And I submit to you that the 2 people that are here and in the contender race with me, they were part of that group that didn't do so well, which is why I left. And I dedicated 10 years of my life to work with the National Hispanic Institute in doing real work with our community. We have to change, and it starts here.
Just a little bit. Technical difficulties. Ken!
Where's Kenny? You want me to go get him?
Well, I can talk loud too. Can everybody hear me?
No, but all the way to the back. We just stand up.
All right, here we go. I'll just stand. See my face.
Try it. Go ahead.
There we go. Even better. You don't have to look at my face. All right, Mr. Lopez, thank you very much. We want to know, in your opinion, is our border with Mexico secure? And if it is, if it is not, excuse me, in your opinion, how would you advise Washington to go about further securing the border?
It's kind of interesting that we have a situation in our city government where we pay lip service to true collaboration regionally. And I'm telling you here, and it's true, it is lip service. And it's been done by Mayor Wardy, who backs one of the opponents. It's been done by Mayor Caballero and Shapley, who also back another one of the opponents. It's been lip service. I grew up crossing the border 3 to 5 times a day to visit my abuelitos and my tios and tias. Our border needs to be secure by making sure that we foster regional collaboration. And that's part of my platform. And we have to do it genuinely. Not just saying, we're the safest city in the nation, que bonito para nosotros. But what about Juarez? A successful Juarez means a successful El Paso. A successful El Paso means a successful Ciudad Juarez in a successful region that is of over 2 million people living in this community.
Mr. Lopez, you mentioned that El Paso has the distinction of being named the safest city in the United States for the past few years. The El Paso Firemen's and Policemen's Pension Fund is now facing a $270 million shortfall. As mayor, what steps would you take to address this issue, and would you support an increase of the city's contribution to the fund?
Let's get one thing straight. There's a lack of priorities when it comes to our community, and it was fostered by the mayors of the past, including this current administration. It all began a long time ago, because I'll tell you what, this pension issue, it's not a recent one. It's been there. It's something that just continues to get kicked off the way to further. That has to stop. So what do we need to do? We need to bring back fiscal responsibility to our community. We need to get priorities straight. We're funding pet projects without looking at our foundation for the future of our city. I'm all about progress, but when people wave the banner of progress in front of all of you, progress for who? Because it's certainly not progress for all of us, and I think this is an example for that. We need to bring our community together to explore the possibility of how we're going to get out of this hole. But I will ensure that we do that as the next mayor of El Paso, with sound fiscal priorities.
Mr. Lopez, you have 2 minutes to answer the following question. The ballpark is coming. Okay. What is your personal commitment to making the full extent of the development expectation that everybody has with regards to this ballpark, making that development expectation a reality?
It's kind of interesting that we talk about the expectation of the ballpark without having really asked the community what its own expectation for the ballpark was. Let's get one thing straight. We need to bring back public trust to our community. We need to ensure that it is not led by the Luther Jones crowd or by the Caballero Shapley crowd. We need to make sure that it is about us, our community, our vision. In order to be able to get to a place where we see a ballpark that's successful, because yes, it is coming, and City Hall is coming down, we need to bring in all of our community to gain ownership for our city. I submit to you that I'm the only candidate with a stated platform. I'm sure they'll all develop theirs in the next few weeks, but I'm the only candidate with a developed platform on fostering citizenship, fostering civic participation, looking at our pillars of civic organizations to get involved with the ballpark. I think that that's the way we make it successful. I think that we bring in our community and that voice that they shut off on the microphone, that they tell people, thanks, but we don't really need your vote. But hey, everybody else, let's organize ourselves to make a deal happen for our own special interests. I am not the candidate against business. I'm for business. It's on my platform. All I want to see is all of us being part of the discussion. And I will ensure that, because I submit to you, I've only served under 2 different administrations, got to see what they did. They're backing 2 other players. It's the same old business. I'm the only one saying, let's turn the page. I'm the only one saying, let's get real progress. A progress for all of us, not just a few. And we need to do that.
You have 1 minute for a closing statement.
I want to thank everybody. I think this race is going to be one for the history books in El Paso. I really do. You have 8 candidates. And of the 8 candidates, take the time to look into who they are. My life has been all about community service. It's all about the American dream, because I lived it in my family. My dad is right back there. My mom's home sick tonight. But their dream of coming to El Paso to make a better place for their kids, a better life for their kids, is a reality in me and my sisters. And the values that they set me with were, mijo, when someone gives you and supports you, you give that back. I have had a dedicated career to that. I served over 10 years with the National Hispanic Institute with local families and national and international families on that very endeavor. And I've been involved in my community. Take a look at the candidates and don't get duped by the lip service that they pay, because it's the same old players. They're all in this room and you'll get to see them all. Each candidate, ask them the right questions when you get a chance. Thank you.